So in this session, we'll be working with one more kind of a load. Okay, similar kind of efforts we're going to put it with respect to this concept. Okay. So we'll be working today on delta connection. Okay, today we'll be working on delta connection. Delta connection. Okay, so this delta connection is represented by the keyword delta. Okay, so first let me show you from your lab perspective that how do we represent this delta connection. So first let me draw the actual circuit. So since normally the type of the load will be inductive in nature, okay, so we represent delta load somewhat like this. So this is my delta load. Okay, so wherein I'm having the three windings. Wherein I'm having three windings. So this is my R, R dash, Y, Y dash, B, B dash. Understanding? R, R dash, Y, Y dash, B, B dash. So these are the three phases. So R phase, Y phase, and the B phase. Okay. So this will be my R phase. This will be my Y phase, and this will be my B phase. So R, Y, and B. So similar such imitation I need to do with respect to the coils. Okay, because in case of your laboratory, you will not get this default as a delta. Okay, so what we'll be having is we'll be having three coils separately. We'll be having three coils separately. This diagram is very important from your laboratory perspective. So these are the end terminals R, R dash, Y, Y dash, B, B dash. Okay, so you can refer to my YouTube videos for the lab part, wherein same thing I have explained it. Okay, wherein how to make the interconnections of the load to work like a star as well as delta. So on the kit of your basic electrical lab perspective, you'll be having on the kit like this. Three terminals are available. Sorry, three coils are available. You can arrange these three coils either in star form or in delta form. To arrange it in star form, what we have done yesterday, we were able to just link R dash to Y dash, B dash to Y dash. This forms the neutral point, and this gives us access to the terminal R, Y, and B. Am I right? Now, if you refer this diagram, what you have done, end of one terminal is connected to beginning of other terminal. R dash is end of R phase, which is connected to beginning of the Y phase. Similarly, Y dash is the end terminal of Y phase. It is connected to beginning of the B phase. Again, B dash is the end of end of the B phase, which is connected to beginning of R phase. So how we are going to interconnect this now? So because since they are available as terminals to use, these are the end terminals. These are the end terminals. Now, in order to make the interconnection, end terminal is connected to the beginning terminal. End terminal is connected to the beginning terminal. Again, this end terminal is connected to the beginning terminal. This end terminal is connected to the beginning terminal. Okay, then you'll be able to get your R, Y, and B. Understanding? So be able to get your R, Y, and B. So this is what you people need to remember from your laboratory perspective. This is very important. Unless and until you understand this diagram, you will never be able to work on any of the two experiments, whether measurement of three-phase power using 2 wattmeter, nor identifying the voltage and current relationship in star connected load and delta connected load. Okay. So now, since we are able to understand this part now, now we'll draw the diagram once again, wherein we'll draw it for R phase, Y phase, and B phase, and we'll understand what are all the terminologies related to the delta connection. Okay. So in case of delta connection, so as we have seen now, as we are able to see now, that we are having, okay. So let me draw the diagram for R phase first. The R coil. Okay, let me show it over here. So this is my R phase. Okay, then this is my Y phase. Then next, this is my B phase. Okay. Okay, so R, Y, and the B. So now I am having the end terminals which are to be brought out. Okay, I want end terminals which are to be brought out. Okay, so that I can make some identification about what about the voltage and currents in the circuit. Okay, so those end terminals, I'll get it out over here. Okay, fine. Now, so this is my R phase, this is my Y phase, and this is my B phase. So if you're so this since this is my load, since this is my load, an inductive load. Okay, so now if at all if I start applying the current over here, what happens? So here I'll be having my IR. Okay, here I'll be having my IY. Then here I'll be having my IB. Okay, so these are the currents which are going to flow through this line. Now I need to identify what are the phase currents. What are the phase currents? So in order to compute the phase current, or in order to identify where is the phase current going to flow, I can simply say over here. Let me say this is the R terminal. The same thing I'm writing here. This is the Y terminal, and this is the B terminal. Now, since this is the R terminal, so this current IR, when it enters into the coil, so this is nothing but your R dash, right? This is nothing but your Y, okay, Y dash. This is nothing but your B dash. Am I right? Now this IR, when it enters into this terminal, okay, when this enters into this terminal, this IR is going to flow from where? R to Y, right? So this current we call it as IRY. Since it's flowing from R to Y, since this current is flowing from R terminal to Y terminal, this is said to be IRY. Okay, then this is your IY. So since this is going to flow through this terminal, now this current we call it as IYB, because it's going to flow from Y to B. Then next, what about this current? Since this current IB is entering at the terminal B, and since this current is going to flow from B to R, so this current is said to be IBR. Understanding? Is it clear to you? So in this delta connection, okay, which is also called as end-to-end connection. So delta connection is also called as end-to-end connection. It's also called as end-to-end connection. So you have seen, no? So from one end you're connecting to another end, one end to another end, one end to another end. That's the reason it's called as end-to-end connection, right? So over here, I'm having three currents, something called as IA, IB, and IC, or nothing but I can say that IR, IY, and IB. The IR, IY and IB. So these three currents, IR, IY and IB, they are called as the line currents. They are called as line currents. Okay, and I can equate it to IL. So the magnitude of IR, IY and IB is equals to IL. Okay, and then I'm having one more currents, that is nothing but my IRY, which is equal to IYB, which is equals to IBR. So this is nothing but my phase currents. So this is nothing but my phase currents. So recall, in case of a star connection, your line current was equal to the phase current, which is not the case in case of T delta. So line currents are different, phase currents are different. But if you see about the voltage, you are having only one type of voltage. So there is no neutral point. There is no neutral point in delta connection. So when I measure the voltage between the two phases, so I cannot measure any voltage between one of the phase and the ground because there is no neutral point. So default I have to measure what? The voltage between the two phases. So here the voltage between R and Y, I say it as ERY. Voltage between Y and B, I say it as EYB, and voltage between R and B, I call it as ERB. Okay, so I'm having only one type of voltage, nothing but the phase voltage. So phase voltage will be equal to the line voltage in the delta connection. Okay, so default when I see this circuit, so taking this circuit as reference only, we are going to interact now. So taking this circuit as reference, I can simply say that in delta connection, in delta connection, okay, my EL is equals to E phase. Okay, remember this because we are having only one type of voltage. Here you are having only one type of the voltage. So since you are having only one type of voltage over here, okay, that's voltage between any two phases. So default I can say that my line voltage will be equal to the phase voltage. Okay, now next is we have to identify what is the relation between a line current and a phase current. We have to identify the relationship between a line current and the phase current. So to identify that relationship, what we're going to do over here is a similar process that we had followed for our star connection. So over here, first we are going to plot a vector for our phase currents. We're going to plot the vector for our phase currents. So now let me say that. So this is my origin, okay, and this vector is indicating the current that is flowing through the R phase, and nothing but my IRY. Okay, so this is nothing but my IRY. Okay, then next is the current that is going to flow through my Y phase. The current that flows through my Y phase is IYB. So that IYB I am going to show such that it is having an angle of 120 degree. Okay, so this is my IYB. Okay, then next I am going to have the current that is going to flow in my B phase, that is nothing but my IBR. So how to show my IBR? Again, that should make an angle of 120 with both the vectors. So IBR. Okay, now I want the current. Now I want the current that is nothing but the current IR. There's nothing but the current IR. I want this current IR. I want this parameter. I want this IR. How to get this IR? How to get this IR? So to get this IR, what I should do? If you refer this vectors, okay, if you refer this vectors, my IR is equals to, okay, so this is an incoming current, Okay, if you just apply KCL at the node R, you'll be able to get the equation. Okay, if you just apply KCL at the node R, you'll get the equation. So if I apply the equation over here, so if I apply the KCL over here, what is that I'll be getting is, okay, my IR will be equal to, my IR will be equal to, okay, IR will be equal to, so IRY minus IBR. So this IR, this current is equals to IRY minus IBR. Okay. Now, if I get this equation, if I'm able to get this equation, now this equation I have to implement it in terms of the vector form. So if you see this vector approach, if you see my vector approach, I'm having IRY, I'm having IRY, I'm having IYB, and I'm having IBR. So this equation is saying that to get this IR current, to get this IR current, I should have a vector sum of IRY minus IBR. So whether you are having this IRY, yes, IRY is there. Whether you are having this IBR, yes, IBR is also there. But what you want minus IBR. Then how to achieve it? The same vector has to be projected in an opposite direction. Same vector has to be projected in an opposite direction. So this gives you minus IBR. So this gives you your vector minus IBR. Okay. So once if you get this vector minus IBR, then the next step is what now? You have to apply law of parallelogram. Okay, and get the resultant vector. Get the resultant vector. So let me show the resultant vector by other color. So this is my resultant vector IR. This is my resultant vector IR. Okay, the same process that we had followed in the previous case. Okay, wherein the angle between your IRY and IYB is how much? What is this angle? Yes, answer in the group chat. What is this angle? Angle between IRY and IYB. This angle. What is this angle? 120. Good. Now, you have drawn this minus IBR vector which has moved exactly center of IRY and IYB. Then what is this angle? What is this angle? 60 degree, because your minus IBR is moving exactly in the center. Then you are having the resultant vector IR which is moving exactly in the center of minus IBR and IRY. Then what is this angle? Then what is this angle? 30 degree, right? So this angle is 30 degree. Understanding? So this angle is 30 degree. Now, what is that I'll be doing is, from this, let me call this as OA. Definitely this is not a problem. Let me call this as a vector OA, which is nothing but the length of the vector IRY. Okay, and let me call this resultant vector as OB. Okay, from point A, I am going to draw one perpendicular from the point A. I'm going to draw perpendicular to the line OB. So if I draw a perpendicular to the line OB, somewhat like this, then it forms a right angle triangle OAC. It forms a right angle triangle. So this is a right angle triangle, 90 degree. Okay, so it forms a right angle triangle OCA, because the right angle should be at the center. So OCA is your right angle triangle. So from this right angle triangle, you should be able to write for cos 30. Okay, you should be able to write for cos 30. Then I can simply write over here saying that cos 30 degree is equals to cos 30 degree is equals to, now since I should write it for cos 30, now what I should get, so this is angle 30, so the adjacent side divided by hypotenuse, adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So adjacent side is what? Adjacent side is OC and hypotenuse is OE. So I can get this as OC divided by OA. OC divided by OA. Then further, what is how I can write this OC in this in the same process? In the same process, I can write this OC as what? I can write this OC as the entire vector OB divided by 2. This OC I can write it as OB divided by 2 because this point C is standing midway of the vector OB. So I can write here OC as OB by 2 divided by OA. Now I need to identify what is this OB, what is this OA. What is this OB? If I see this vector diagram, what is my OB? My OB is nothing but the vector IR. So my OB is nothing but the vector IR. So it is IR divided by 2 divided by, what is this vector OA? This vector OA is nothing but IRY. So this vector OA is nothing but IRY. So I can write this as IRY. Right? So now I want the relation between IR and IRY, right? The line current and the phase currents. So what I'm going to do? I'm going to write the equation for IR. This implies my current IR will be equal to, so this 2 will come to denominator, right? So I'll be able to get this as 2 times that of IRY into cos 30 degree. Am I right? Now I can write this as what now? 2 as this, IRY as this. What is cos 30? What is cos 30? Answer in the group chat. What's the value of cos 30? Root 3 by 2, right? Root 3 by 2. So here what happens? This 2 get cancels, giving out, okay, giving out your IR is equals to root 3 times that of IRY. This implies, what is your IR? What is your IR? Your IR is a line current. IR is a line current, which is equals to root 3 times that of the phase current. Root 3 times that of the phase current. So this is the relation that we people need to remember. Okay, so the point that we people need to remember now is, if at all if I want to just merge the two topics, okay, so that we have taken it individually in yesterday's class and today's class. Sorry. So now I can simply say here that is, since we are having two types of load, one is star connection, one more it is a delta connection. So I want to remember what is the relation between line currents and phase currents in case of star. So with respect to the parameter current, in case of star, line current is equals to the phase currents. Am I right? Then what about the voltage? What about the voltage? Here voltage, that is line voltage, is root 3 times that of the phase voltage. Line voltage is root 3 times that of the phase voltage. Then in case of delta, So this is with respect to current, this is with respect to the voltage. Same thing I'm going to do with respect to current with respect to voltage. So in case of delta connection, what is the line currents and phase current relationship? Their line currents is root 3 times that of the phase current. Line current is root 3 times that of phase current. And what about the voltage? Here line voltage is equals to the phase voltage. Understanding? So this relation is very important, and the same relation we are going to verify it in your laboratory, your experiment number 6, determination of the voltage current relationship in star and delta connected load. Is it clear to you? Right? Is it clear to you? So what you people should do is, I'll show you the trick how to remember it. Okay. So in case of star connection, how do you represent star? So this is how you people represent your star connection, wherein this is indicating inductive kind of a load. R phase, Y phase, and the B phase. R phase, Y phase, and the B phase. R, Y, B. This is your neutral. Okay. So how do you represent a delta? So this is your delta representation, right? So this is your R phase, the Y phase, and the B phase. R phase, Y phase, and the B phase. So over here, if you see, there is only one kind of current which is going to flow in the circuit. So therefore, here you need to remember that line current is equals to the phase current. You remember this much. If line current is equals to phase current, then correspondingly your line voltage has to be root 3 times that of phase voltage. So you remember only in terms of the star. Then when it comes to the delta, it has to be reverse as that of your star. So what will happen? Here your voltage, since you're having only one kind of voltage in the system, there is no any neutral point. You are getting two voltages here. You're getting the line voltage and the phase voltage, just because you can measure the voltage between any two phase, and also you can measure the voltage between any one of the phase and neutral. I hope my statement is clear to you. You are getting two voltages over here just for a simple reason. You can measure the voltage between any two phases and also any one of the phase and neutral. But since here neutral point is not existing, so there is only one kind of a voltage. That is a voltage between any two phases. Anywhere you go, this voltage will remain same. Anywhere you go, this voltage will remain the same. So therefore, your line voltage will be equal to your phase voltage. Understanding? So if this is true, then correspondingly your line current will be root 3 times that of your phase current. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Yes, any doubts? Any doubts? Okay. So now, once if you are able to understand both how star connection and delta connection is going to work, then I can just write a simple equation which talks about what is the amount of power being consumed. What is the amount of power being consumed by the three-phase load? What is the amount of power being consumed by three-phase load? So the power being consumed by three-phase load is being given by so three-phase power. Okay, power being consumed in a three-phase load. Okay, if you want, I can verify it for star also. I can verify it for delta connected load also. So it can be in general. Okay, the three-phase power is being given by 3 into E phase into I phase into cos phi. So this is general equation. Whether it is star or delta, secondary. Whether it is star or delta, secondary. So if you want to identify, if at all if you want to identify power in the three-phase circuits, it is 3 into E phase into I phase into cos phi. A simple reason. Okay, if at all if you want to write the equation for power for the single phase, how will you write? V phase I phase into cos phi. Am I right? Vi cos phi. This is what people are studied in single phase circuits. Now you are not having a single phase power, you are having a three phase power. So when you want to compute what is a three phase power, then in that case you have to just multiply by the value 3, the same equation, right? So instead of E phase I have written this as B phase, both means the same, right? So voltage into current into power factor. So this is the power consumed in single phase. If I multiply it by 3, that gives me the three phase power. It gives me three phase power. Okay, now we'll see how I can use this equation wherein I can compute what is the power being consumed by the star connected load. Star connected load. So in case of star connected load, if I want to observe what is the power being consumed by three phase load, so as I know the equation, 3 into E phase into I phase into cos phi. So 3 as this. So in case of star connected load, what is E phase? E phase is EL by root 3. Yes or no? Yes or no? Because your EL will be equal to what? Root 3 times that of E phase. Then what will be your E phase? A reverse of that. EL by root 3. Okay. Into what is I phase? I phase is IL in case of star. Then this cos phi as it is. Okay, then how I can write this 3? A simple mathematics. The 3 can be written as root 3 into root 3. Root 3 into root 3 is root 3 square. Square root get cancelled, giving out 3. Right? Then EL by root 3 into IL into cos phi. Now here root 3 get cancelled, giving out power in the three phase circuit. Power in the three phase circuit is being given by root 3 EL IL cos phi. You should remember this. The power consumed by the three phase load is being given by root 3 EL IL into cos phi. Is it clear? The same thing can be verified even in case of delta connected load. Same thing can be verified in case of a delta connected load. So what happens in case of delta load? In case of the delta load, the power consumed in a three phase circuit is being given by, okay, so as we know the standard equation, E3 into E phase into I phase into cos phi. 3 into E phase into I phase into cos phi. Okay, now I'll keep this 3 as this. This E phase is equals to EL in case of delta. Then I can write this I phase as IL by root 3 into cos phi. Once again, this 3 can be written as root 3 into root 3 EL IL by root 3 into cos phi. So here root 3 once again get cancels, giving power consumed in the three phase load where load is of type delta is once again root 3 EL IL cos phi. So it means this expression is able to make you understand that whether your load is of type delta or your load is of type star, the power consumed in the three phase load is given by root 3 EL IL cos phi. Is it clear to you? So they will be asking you in the numerical, compute the power consumed, compute the power consumed by three phase load. So the power being consumed by three phase load is being given by root 3 EL IL cos phi, whether the load is star connected or the load is delta connected. So I have proved you people that any of the load, it may be maybe a delta load or maybe a star load, the equation will remain the same. Is it clear to you? Any doubts? Yes, my dear students, any doubts?